King Jehoshaphat wanted to make peace between Israel and Judah. He did this by arranging a marriage between his oldest son and the daughter of King Ahab, king of Israel. The young lady's name was Athaliah. She had a profound influence upon her husband, turning him away from Jehovah God and towards the evils of Israel. As soon as Jehoshaphat died, his son became king. Immediately went throughout the kingdom of Judah and setting up idols. He built a temple to Baal right in Jerusalem. Then he killed his 6 brothers so that no one could make them king over him. With that, Elisha sent him a message saying, "You have led your people into worshiping idols. And now you have killed your 6 brothers, all men who are better than you. Therefore, all of your sons will be killed, and you will die a slow, agonizing death." With that, Judah started losing battle after battle. All of his sons were killed except for the youngest. And then the king got a crippling disease of the stomach, and he suffered for 2 years and finally died. And no one in Judah mourned his death. His youngest son became king after him, but unfortunately he followed the ways of his mother Athaliah. He went to visit his uncle, king of Israel. And that was the day that Jehu killed both of them, the king of Israel and the king of Judah. At that point, Athaliah decided that she would just be king herself, even though she was a woman. She knew that Judah liked to select their kings from the descendants of David, which meant that they would kill her and make one of her grandchildren king. So she called a guard and told him to go to the palace and kill all of her grandchildren. Her daughter was a woman who served the Lord. She'd even married the high priest, Jehoiada. She heard what the queen said, so she rushed to the palace and grabbed one child, a toddler by the name of Joash, took him and his nurse and ran from the palace just as the guards were coming in to kill all the children. She hid the child in the temple. But Athaliah thought that all of her grandchildren, all the royal heirs of King David, were dead. So she made herself king and ruled for 6 years. Jehoiada, the high priest, hid Joash until the boy was 7 years old. Then he called in trusted military leaders and heads of certain families. He said, "What would you do if we had a descendant of David?" "Oh, well, we would instantly make him king." So Jehoiada went and got Joash and brought him in and said, "Here is the next king of Judah." Immediately they started making plans on how they would introduce him to the people. They organized the military, temple activities, and crowd control. on the appointed day, all the people of Judah came to worship in the temple. Jehoiada brought out Joash and set him in that place reserved only for kings, anointed him with oil, and put the crown on his head. The trumpets blew, the choir sang, and the people shouted, "Long live the king!" They rushed through the streets celebrating and talking about the king. Athaliah heard all this and went to the temple to see what was going on. There she saw Joash sitting at the place reserved only for kings, wearing a crown on his head. She ripped her clothes and said, "Treason! Treason!" Jehoiada pointed to her and said, "Take that woman out of here, because it's not right to kill someone in the temple." So they took her out, killed her at the horse corral. So all the people went throughout the city, tearing down all the idols to Baal. They tore down the temple to Baal and killed the priest. Jehoiada set up the worship of the Lord in the temple. The people celebrated that Athaliah's reign of terror was over.